I am a black Egyptian. My father is much darker than I am. My mother is lighter than I am. In Egypt, people are identified by the religion first.
Yes, viewers all over the world. As you all know, no philosophy and life will guide their ways opening now. No guide their quality he was a manando. There is opening now. Nick is my man. I found Ogbuefi Ezeana. Here in a water tatabo an account of testimonies from an Egyptian by birth. Manata. All the name America. Nationalized, yeah, in America. Where green card, papers. Manobia. To buttress here in the every day. Now Africa is the first son of God. Africa is the first creation. Where Kowalo Yemen. Na ndị Egypt a na-ekwu maka ya. Na ha bụrụkwa ndị anyarị. Yes. Na ndị Egypt a na-ekwu maka ya brown and black. Ihe anụ n'onye. Watch ime ise that video misiri. Ọsọ na ndị Egypt a na-ekwu maka ya brown and black. Na ha bụrụ white. Njọrị. Maka gwa no one afọ dị North Africa as na ha bụ white. Okike ekere mmadụ colorless. Watch ya change before. All climate ndị bi n'ebe snow na ada na weather climate ha dị white. Mana na originally creation is either brown and black. That is etu anyị nwere na Igbo bai. Enwere ndị dị fair. Mana fair nke anyị ya call it brown because ọ bụrụ ezigbo fair to compare real white. Now, owesi mgbe ọnwa ebidolu civilization, remember, you go to Google. The Africa is the cradle of civilization. Go and Google it. Civilization started in Africa because Africa is the first creation. I want to watch about my teaching concerning Africa, the first son of God. You are missing a lot. Oweneku na no ihe white is where batia no for the 7th century. Where were that 17th to 19th century? More game were invaded Africa by the whites. So here I mentioned when I'm happens, how they put a niba whoever dominated the original people. Well, was here. Oh, yeah, but I had to really mix up the white carries here because now civilization started during the First Republic in creation. Umoro obodo ọbụla bụ ije go na Bible bụ agụ ya na ihe niile from Egypt Pharaoh. Yatara ya? Bụkwa maka stories niile dị na Bible. Na some of these stories from the ancient Egypt. Even my story ebe aka ọrụ gị gbasalo the story of Moses. Na here now fabricated stories and the stories. Na story onye eji convert ya as the story of Moses. Bụ onye a na-akpọ fellow Akhenaten. You got that? Some of those things here will story teaching for another day. But then na check kwala gebo. I ga-esi ntị n'onu. Eno ego ndị anyarị bịazi bịa invade Africa. Then we take a world power back. You got that? Agwa ịma na o nwere oge enwere oge ọ bụ Rome and the Pharaoh na-achị ụwa. Mesha nwe oge ọ bụ the Roman Empire. Mesha nwe Persian Empire. You got that? Ndị bi n'ihe emeri dominate ba. Etu aka ọchịchị wee bazie n'aka the white empires. See today America is ruling. Mana na-achị kọwara ọ gwazie gị ihe a na fight na today as we speak. No gbago many akwụkwọ na America ebe ya nọ. Ebe a na-asị ya kwuo no white. Ọ mba na origin ya na ya bụrụ na ya black. Ị gezie ntị na ya video. Ọ bụrụ ntị m ka ntị ka ịnụ from the horse's mouth. Maka ọ na-aba anyị na-ekwu ya ndị mara na-asị how come na ndị abụ white. Ọ sị na ha originally na ha bụrụ white. Na ha brown and black. Gezie ntị na ya video and learn from it. Thank you.
I am a black Egyptian. My father is much darker than I am. My mother is lighter than I am. In Egypt, people are identified by the religion first, not the race. So in Egypt, if you are Christian, you are a minority person. But if you're black, you're not a minority person. You are a part of the mainstream society. And I came from this background. And in Egypt, you identify as Arab and as Muslim. And in this country, when I first came, I identified myself as Arab American and Muslim first. And gradually, I became to identify myself as black. I came to the U.S. in 1978. And I became a U.S. citizen in 1985. When I became a U.S. resident, I was told by the Immigration and Naturalization that I am white. And I told them that I am black, and they said, no, in this country, you are white. All Arabs in this country, all Arab immigrants are white. I didn't pay much attention in the beginning to this, because in the Arab world, we identify with our ethnicity first as Arabs, and then with the race second as black or white or whatever. But in this country, you identify with your racial group first and then with your ethnicity second. Gradually, I became black first and Arab second. And I rejected my white classification publicly for the first time in 1987, in February, as a panelist in a function sponsored by the Association of the Study of Black Life and History in Detroit. I said that I belong to two minority groups. I am Arab American and Black American, and I'm racially black and ethnically Egyptian. I was harassed by my employer right after that. I work for a white school district. The superintendent is white. All the associate superintendents are white, even though that we provide services to 30% black population. But the organization is white and the approach is very white. The attitude towards me changed completely after I went out publicly and rejected my white classification. One coworker came to me and told me, a white coworker came to me and told me right after the function that he met with the superintendent, and if I don't keep my mouth shut, my educational career is over. He said, you have nothing to do with these people, you have a history and a culture. These people came from the jungle, you have nothing to do with them. These people lie and steal. When I see one of them in my neighborhood, I call the police. And I was told by the director of general education, who is retired now, in '88, I was told by him that I get people angry when I say that I'm black Egyptian. If I just say that I'm Egyptian, I would get along. I have to add that I was denied promotion twice because I chose black classification. This is part of my 2 lawsuits against my employer, which are currently pending. 2 lawsuits.
Now, just for the education of our viewership, why don't you share with us a breakdown of Egypt as it is today, insofar as blacks or combinations thereof of European descent and what have you?
We don't have Egyptians of European descent in Egypt. We have a population which is basically which is basically a mixture of ancient Egyptian blacks who intermarried with Arabs right after the Arab conquest. The ancient Egyptian population was brown and black before the Arab conquest. But before the Arab conquest came the Greeks. It was the ancient Egyptian population was in Egypt for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptian population was brown and black. And the Greeks came in 300 BC, and they started to intermarry with the local population. And then the Romans came and ruled from 70 BC until they were conquered by the Arabs and kicked out by the Arabs in the 7th century. And these people intermarried with the Egyptian Copts, and they made the pigmentation of the Egyptians, the Copts, much lighter because of this intermarriage with Europeans.
Now, you're an educator, okay. Now, how do you deal with situations when you practice your profession insofar as dealing with the mythology or the misconceptions about Egypt being a white civilization? How do you deal with that?
This is a big problem because Egypt, the ancient Egyptian civilization was a black civilization, and ancient Egyptians were black according to the Greek scholars and the Roman scholars. Ancient Egypt became white only in the 19th century and in the 20th century. And the scholar who is responsible for this is Seligman, the noted anthropologist from England, Seligman. White supremacy argues that blacks are inferior than white intellectually. They are subhuman and they are incapable of building a civilization. white supremacy had one dilemma until Seligman came. The dilemma was ancient Egypt was black according to the Greek and the Roman scholars. 10 of them said that, including Aristotle and Plato. 10 of them said that in writing. They had this dilemma. Ancient Egyptian was black. So if blacks are inferior intellectually and are incapable of building a civilization, how come the ancient Egyptians built a civilization? Seligman found the solution for this dilemma. He came up with a theory called the Hamite theory. He separated the blacks who built a civilization in Egypt and Ethiopia from the rest of the black race, and he called them brown-skinned whites, or the Hamites. So Seligman saved white supremacy from this dilemma, and all the white scholars followed him from that time on. This was at the end of the 19th century. And since that time, white scholarship says that ancient Egypt is white.
Mustafa Hefni is currently working on his doctorate degree at Wayne State University. His dissertation topic is a content analysis of the treatment of ancient Egypt in world history textbooks. And just how far is this determined Egyptian willing to go to be classified black?
I want to carry my case all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary.